Hey everyone, this is Dr. Aruna Tummala, holistic psychiatrist and owner of Trinergy Health. So today I have with me Natalie. Natalie is a young woman that I've been working with for a few months now in my program, Psychiatry 2.0. And I wanted Natalie to come and share her experience so that it can educate others and also give an idea as to what really happens when we struggle with any kind of illness, whether it's physical or mental health, and what are some of the things that we can do without having to rely on medications or other kinds of pharmaceuticals. So, Natalie, so go ahead and tell us the reason that you came to my practice to work with me.
Yeah, so I had struggled with anxiety, depression, ADHD for a few years. During this time, I was doing the more traditional psychiatry approach on medications, and I tried a few different ones. I would definitely had some improvements throughout, but I just got to the point where it was clear that it wasn't working and my life wasn't where I wanted it to be. And I didn't feel like I was able to do the things I needed to do. And that's when I knew I needed to try something different.
Mm-hmm. And were you feeling hopeless and helpless at that time?
I would say definitely helpless because it felt like I was doing what the doctors told me, taking the medicine they told me to take, and like, yeah, it must be something wrong with me that it wasn't working and that I'm not falling into line with the traditional course of treatment.
Yeah, so you had been taking those medications for years, right? For a
Yeah.
while. You had been taking, and you would see some benefit, but then the symptoms would come back or something would happen, and you were feeling kind of stuck. But yeah, and as that process continued, you began to question whether something was inherently damaged or wrong with you and whether that can be fixed. And the primary model that was being told is that it's a chemical imbalance and you have to take these medications, correct? Okay. So, yeah, so what did you find since starting here?
Well, it has been, I mean, life changing. Like the way that I've been able to reconnect with myself and just feel more like myself, feel more alive and vibrant and having more energy and motivation. And then all of this happening while stopping all the meds. Like that's something that still my friends and family are always saying, like, I'm just like so impressed that you're able to just stop all those and you're still like you're all good now. Like that's crazy. And I say, I know, me too. It's I guess it's crazy how much getting back to fundamentals of just being a human and eating real foods and treating your body right just makes such a difference.
Isn't it? And yes, I mean for the listeners here, I do want to point out that once Natalie understood what was going on, why she was experiencing the symptoms, it had nothing to do with chemical imbalance and it had nothing to do with her faulty genetics or her being damaged in some way. It was just that life experiences up until that point had led her to not believe in herself, lose her self worth, and disconnect from herself. And psych medications actually amplify that. So, one of the things that I do recommend for many patients because of the toxicity of these meds is a taper and stopping. But once you understood what needed to happen and you went in right away, and that's where the power of your mind and your intention came through. I think within 1 month, you felt ready to stop the medications, and when you went forward in that manner, there were no negative effects at all. But everybody's story is different. Some people are able to do it the way you did, but for everyone, I say there is no need to suffer in this process, because some people can experience withdrawal symptoms. They can experience tapering issues. we just need to be connected with our mind, body, and soul and do what is in our best interest, and always find the thing that balances us the most, right?
Mhm.
So, from your understanding, what was going on that led you to be anxious, depressed, and feeling stuck in life? What was going on?
Um, to me, before I started this program, it felt like it was that I just had no self control and I just couldn't make myself do things. And yeah, it just felt very much like a me problem. And that's just the way my brain is wired. And I'm just going to keep on failing at life. And then through meeting you and learning more about the program, definitely comes down to so much of just inflammation. Like, of course, there's some
Yes.
trauma and past experiences that obviously affect you in the present. But yeah, it just seems like a big side effect of my body not being healthy and not being able to process toxins and keep them away from my brain.
Yes. And the trauma part, life can become hard, stressful, traumatic for a lot of us, especially as we are children and helpless. We are dependent on our caregivers. There's a lot of, the stuff that can go wrong. But I think the big thing for you was the realization that you are not beholden to what happened in the past. You're not a victim. You can live your life today and tomorrow in the way that you envision it to be. It is about taking that choice, that power, of making that choices in your life, taking that power back, which I think is, freedom and empowerment is really the freedom of choice, right? So that was, that was another pivotal thing for you. When you understood that. I think that really helped your relationship with yourself mainly, and all the emotions, whether it is anxiety or depression, they are not illnesses. We brand them that way. It's a very excellent marketing strategy to make normal things abnormal, right?
Mhm.
In fact, anytime an illness happens, it is always our mind, body, spirit system and its infinite intelligence letting us know that we need to pay attention to something and walk towards balance and bliss. Both go hand in hand. When we are balanced, we feel more blissful. And so tell us about your. Yeah, sorry, you were about to say something.
Oh, I was just going to say that definitely, it seems like the medications dull that communication so that even if it seems to subside anxiety for a little bit, you're really just not able to pay attention to what your body's trying to alert you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it is basically like turning off the fire alarm in your home because it's making noise, right? Who would do that, right? You want the fire alarm to make noise loud enough so that we wake up if there is a fire or carbon monoxide smoke and poisoning and all that stuff. And symptoms of any illness are exactly that. It's the smoke alarm system in our body. And with many pharmaceutical interventions, all we are doing is turning the alarm off. That's the problem. That's why the underlying disease continues to progress and people don't find healing or relief in that pathway. And so tell us about any benefits you've had with your physical health.
So, physically, I noticed improvements in my skin, in like acne, and even just like I've always, since I was a kid, had some kind of like redness and little bit of bumpy texture sometimes on my
Mm-hmm.
cheeks. Um, like even that is not really a thing for me anymore, which is crazy because I thought that's just the way my skin was. But I've definitely been able to see how those were reactions to things going on inside my body.
Mm-hmm.
And I've also noticed a dramatic change in response to what I eat. So now, if I eat something that's less healthy, I'll notice a response in my body right away, whether it's bloating or breakouts. But that feels better to me because it's a signal that my body is working and that it's able to recognize, oh, these are things that aren't helping us. We want to get them out, um,
Yes. Yeah.
which is just something that I never really was able to notice before.
Yes, and that is because, even, I mean, in fact, children, I mean, these processes actually start in kids. One of the first thing that happens is that so many kids complain of stomach pains when they don't, when they eat stuff that is not healthy for them. But we are told, oh, that's just growing pains or pains in your legs or whatever. We are told that those are growing pains, or worse, oh, that's actually a sign of underlying anxiety. Let's put the kid on an antidepressant. No, that is actually the signals that our body is telling us about the food we're eating, about the chemicals we are consuming or processing in one way or the other. And so, does it mean that you've become more sensitive to, the fun way of living life? I don't think so. No, in fact, it is actually becoming more discerning
Mhm.
and really paying attention. Again, it's that connection to your own self, becoming aware, becoming connected, being more present in your day-to-day life. And this is what really health is about. So how hard or easy was it to do this switch? Excuse me.
I would say definitely. So I, before starting this, did not have a good, healthy, balanced diet. Not at all. And I never really cooked for myself at home. Um, yeah, just really saw food as more of either like a indulgence, binging something that I feel like eating, or eating something because I'm so hungry and I need to, um, versus actually seeing it as the food that's nourishing me and helping me do everything that I do in a day.
Mm-hmm.
And making that switch was something that I definitely wanted to do. I was very like all in, this is what I'm doing, I'm ready. And I think that initial motivation helped me a lot because I did have some of those symptoms the first few days of the keto flu type stuff
Mm-hmm.
where,
Mm-hmm.
you start to feel the
The withdrawal.
tiredness and a little bit achy and whatever. And then after that, it was nothing but feeling better and better, the more that I followed it. The amount of energy was really what helps you go along,
Mm-hmm.
because it's not like normally when I get tired or stressed or something, then I really crave the more junk food. And switching to this diet gave me the energy to that. I wanted to cook for myself and I wanted to keep eating this stuff. It's not like I wanted to go back.
Yeah, and that is what I call as the ultimate act of self-love is to nourishing yourself by making your own meals. And it's also, I think Penzi's company, they have this billboard, make love, cook food tonight or something like that, which is very true. I mean, across cultures we see that, right? Meals, making meals for your family, preparing them, all of that is an expression of love. And when you do that to yourself, it is an expression of self-love. And again, I want to say to everyone listening here, and again, what you have said is that these are basic fundamental rules of living life, which we have become so disconnected from. It's simple things: eat right, move your body, spend time with your own mind, with your own heart, and surround yourself with the friends and family that love you and support you, and find a passion that'll keep you excited about life. Simple things, right? And when mental illness, depression, anxiety, even bipolar psychosis, when they happen, it's because we have moved away from these fundamentals of life. And from that lens, there is nothing to be afraid of any disease or, I mean, and I think one of the things that you were struggling with was also PMS and menstrual pain and, those kinds of things as well. For which, were you on birth control in the beginning? I think.
Yes, I was on birth control basically since I was 16, just for how bad my periods were and all of the cramps and excess bleeding.
And that's also normalized.
Yeah, for the first time in my life, I have regular, not too heavy, not painful at all periods, which is something I never thought would happen.
Yeah, I mean, isn't that interesting how much we have pathologized normal things about life and living? And especially for us women, the menstrual cycle is is the one of the ways that we connect with the cycle and rhythm of our own body, but also with the cyclical nature of life and nature itself. And when we experience problems, we are not supposed to, I mean, periods are supposed to be, yeah, mildly cramping, not heavy bleeding, regular. And one of the things that actually period blood does is that it detoxes all of those estrogenic molecules that we get exposed to. The BPA in our plastics, the phthalates in our fragrance, all of that, people are actually, when they look at what goes out in the menstrual blood, it's actually detoxing. And then imagine that also is stopped by giving high estrogenic medicines, which to me, birth control pill, I actually call them endocrine toxins. That's how I see them. They don't help the problem. They never, I mean, when if you were to stop without addressing the underlying issues, those symptoms would come back. And anyway, that's, but I'm really happy that, and again, this is not rocket science. When in this root cause method, one thing I want to make it clear is that when one organ system heals, all organ systems have to heal. Whereas in modern medicine, what we see is that we sacrifice one organ for the other. What do I mean by that? Oh, here, take your thyroid medication every day, but it may cause your bones to leach calcium out of it. You will be at high risk for osteoporosis, or you may have thinning hair. Or here, take your antidepressant, but it's going to make to slow down your metabolism. It's going to make you put on weight, or it's going to cause heart arrhythmias. It's going to reduce your seizure threshold. Same thing with so many medications, and that is not medicine. That is absolutely not medicine, because healing is about the whole mind body system, and we need to get back to thinking like that. And so it was about your mindset, like you said. You were already recognizing that you needed to eat healthy. So that was even before coming to me, and why is that? It is because inherently we all recognize what it means to be healthy and well. No matter how much propaganda there is, how many McDonald's ads we see or KFCs and all of that, yeah, once in a while, fun stuff, yeah, that's fine. But when that becomes the main way that we consume nutrition or nourishment, then that can become problematic. But despite all of that, having been exposed to so much of advertising about all these fast food, I mean, Disney TV, that's what they do. It's your nail polishes, your makeup kits. I mean, 10, 12-year-old kids are now wanting, what's that, retinol and all that stuff. Why? It's all advertising, right? But despite that, you already knew some of the basics of life and living. Nobody had to tell you that. And this is something that I find with everyone, even children to adults, everyone, we inherently know what it means to be healthy and well on the inside. It's just that we get sucked into the propaganda, into the advertising, into all of those things, and we lose our way. And in healing, what I've found is that it's really about coming back home to yourself. And it's been a pleasure working with you, Natalie. It's, everything that I've asked you to do, of course, I try to provide the rationale for every recommendation that I make. Make it make sense to you, because if it makes sense, then people will follow, right? And then it's an experiment. You got to try it out, see how it works for you. And so what would you say, what would you say your state of health is overall right now?
I would say that I feel healthier than ever before. And I feel like I have a better understanding of my own health, and I feel more capable to take care of myself and deal with any issues that come up. Yeah, it's like on one hand, I want to say I feel like a whole new person, but really I just feel more like myself.
That is beautiful. And like I said, it's coming home to you, right? It's really finding that alignment within yourself, mind, body, and soul. And when we live from that place of oneness, from that wholeness, is when life opens up for us. So nothing. So you're going back to school now. That is so exciting, and you're picking up where you left off. And sky's the limit for you. That's how I see that. and you know, with your continuing, I mean, continue the meditations, continue to take care of yourself. Really, there is nothing that is going to stop you in any area of your life. That is my, I know that you see that as well, right? Wonderful. Any last message to our listeners, our audience?
Just if you're considering trying this program, please just jump in and give it a try, because I tried so many things before this and none of them end up working in the long run. And it takes so much time and effort to keep researching all these new things or different kind of strategies or hacks to feel better, when the simple thing to do is just get down to the root, get back to the basics, and really just connect with yourself so that you know what you need.
Well said. Well said. And you don't have to reinvent the wheel. That's what we are here for. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Mm-hmm.